Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey there, my name is Marcus Stewart, Senior Associate Editor at Game Informer magazine, and I am here to preach the good word of a little game called Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Yes, the greatest 2D Mortal Kombat game ever made, released before the year 2000. I'm going to say this specifically because the actual greatest 2D Mortal Kombat ever made is probably Mortal Kombat 9. But regardless, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, at least the best version of Mortal Kombat 3. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I have been since the original game hit arcades back in the early 90s. I played it when I was objectively too young, but thankfully it was pre-ratings, so my mom didn't seem to mind too much, especially since I wasn't going to school and trying to rip the heads off of my classmates. And so because of this, I played every Mortal Kombat to come out to date. And I remember when Trilogy came along, I was very excited because the big selling point for that game, for me at least, was that it had every character ever up to that point as a playable fighter, even the boss characters like Motaro and Goro and Kintaro. And I was like, oh my god, they've topped themselves. They'll Mortal Kombat will never get better beyond this point. And it was also one of the first games, if not I think it was the first game that I ever had a strategy guide for too. So it was the first time I ever had all of the myriad of cheat codes at my fingertips for this game because as you know, in Mortal Kombat, the big things is fatalities, and with this being sort of the culmination of every game up to this point, it had every fatality, every animality, every brutality, every babality, anything with the word ality at the end was in this game. And I spent so much time punching in cheat codes trying to see everything, including the really fun fatality gallery that you could watch in the like little theater. To this day, I will look that up on YouTube just to rewatch it. But yeah, I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. It's the best version of Mortal Kombat 3. It plays well. It's got all my favorites from the 90s that I grew up with. It's got so many cool secret characters like a chameleon in there. It was fun, as I mentioned before, to play as the bosses. And yeah, I think this was the game that I feel like I truly got really good at Mortal Kombat. Like I was always competent at Mortal Kombat, at least relative to my age range and the people I played with. But I felt like this was the first time I ever felt like I could take on anyone just because of how much time I put into this game and subsequently got very good mastering like my favorite characters, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage. And yeah, I was just invite friends over and just kind of combined with the fact that I had the strategy guide, just kind of school them pretty much because not only could I beat their butts, but then just pull out a fatality by memory. And they didn't know I had the strategy guys. They're just like, wow, this guy's really good. He just remembers like 15 different fatalities off the top of his head. And it's like, yeah, that's what it's all about when you're a pro gamer boy like me. That was me in the 1997, I think when this game came out. I forget. But regardless, yeah, Trilogy's great. It's just it was kind of in a way kind of what the the prototype of what these series would become in just terms of like packing it with so much extra content beyond just the one-on-one fighting. Like I mentioned before, I had the cool galleries. We could watch like the fatality galleries and stuff. It had so many different arcade ladders for all the different characters in there. So it was fun just running through trying to unlock everyone's ending, which I did because I'm a sicko. And then just messing around with just again trying to see how many different secrets were in there. Like it was just it was a blast, and it was also a game that I was knew I liked the game when I would just drag a parent into the room just so I could show them all the crazy fatalities and all the things you could do, or just be like, hey, look, you see how this, you see how Reptile turns into a monkey for some reason and chases people off, and you see how Noob Saibot can, or not Noob Saibot, God, what's his name? Cabal, Jesus. I'm recording this late at night, by the way, so I might be a little all over the place. But yes, Cabal. I was so frightened when he took his mask off, and maybe that's why I was stuttering over myself because the image of his weird disfigured face as he one breaks the fourth wall by like staring directly at the camera and screaming at you, and then turning to scream at his opponent and horrifying him enough to where his soul leaves his body and runs away is one a terrifying fatality, but also one of the more creative ones. Still one of my favorites, and I always attributed it. This was, I think, the first time I'd seen it was in this game. Uh, yeah, and I would drag my mom in the room and say, "Hey, look at this thing that you bought me! Isn't it great that you are allowing your 10-year-old child to play this? Isn't you feel good about this decision?" And I think she did. I think it was either that or I don't know, maybe getting outside and getting into a bunch of trouble. Who knows? But yes, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, just for the it's a great game, and I loved it because it was the most Mortal Kombat at the time. Like I said, it just had everything you could ever want from the series up to that point. It's still my favorite of the 90s entries to go back to and play. I'm really happy that it's going to be part of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection that comes out in October. And yeah, I think it's still worth going back to, especially if you haven't played the old school Mortal Kombats, if you got into the series either with the 3D weapon fighter era of the 2000s or the more modern 2D games, starting with NK9 and going on through X11 and now 1. I think if you want a sense of like the best of the sort of like digitized actor era of Mortal Kombat, go back and play Trilogy if you pick up that Mortal Kombat Legacy collection. I think you'll still get a big kick out of it, like I do every time I go back to it. Thanks, and happy gaming.
Do you feel like you're the only person in your circle who wants to go deep about video games regularly?
We were like that too, until now.
Welcome to Crossplay Conversations, the brand new bi-weekly topical video game podcast from Luke Lewis,
Joseph Hooper,
And Jacob McCoy.
with many years of breaking it down separately on shows like the Left Behind Game Club, Player Podcast, and Lukewarm Games, the gang is finally coming together to publish their gaming group chat in audio form every other week.
Expect roundtable reviews of the latest games, profiles of upcoming indies, and insightful conversations about essential topics in the video game industry. All with a mostly positive, insightful, and fun style.
Crossplay Conversations debuts on August 1st with brand new episodes hitting every other Tuesday. Help us out by subscribing on your podcast platform of choice to get the first episodes delivered straight to your feed.
And follow us on Twitter at Crossplay Convos for updates about the show.
Cheers and happy gaming.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.